Hey guys, welcome back to Vintage Sports Card Finds, and today we had some vintage sports card finds. I went over to the flea market where I typically go on Sunday mornings, and I found some cool stuff. Nothing major, but some very cool vintage finds nonetheless. Uh, I found this guy selling some cards, and I noticed them right away because they were 50s. I'm gonna show a couple of things real quick that also came with the lot. A Carl Yastrzemski 81 Flair, a 83 Pete Rose. None of these are in overly spectacular condition. And then a Lou Whitaker rookie card. This one's in a little bit of rough shape. Some noticeable rounding on the corners and such. But a nice little card. I can put it on eBay and get a $4 or $5 for it. So, and hopefully that'll help somebody build a set. I'll put the link to my eBay store as usual in the description. And I'm going to do this at the beginning this time, so don't forget. If you enjoyed the content, please comment, like, subscribe. It would certainly help us out. And if you want to see more content, I'd appreciate it. So, that first guy I came across, I found some 57, I believe. This is 57 tops, and they were in pretty nice shape. So I was able to pick these cards up for after kind of factoring everything in. They worked out to about $3.50 a card. It's pretty close to retail, but you know, when you see 50s cards, you kind of really have to hop on it. So I did, and got this Don Mossy card from the Indians. Bob Wilson, Detroit Tigers. Again, I liked the condition on these cards. They're pretty solid. I'll compare it to the ones in my set and see if I need any, and go from there. Darryl Spencer, New York Giants shortstop. Again, really nice looking cards on the 57s. Bill Tuttle, Detroit Tigers outfielder. Really nice looking card. Sharp, good corners. And Lindy McDaniel. I'm pretty sure I have this card, but we'll compare it to the one I got and see if we can improve on that. So that was that. Then there were these. I believe these are the 54s. Gus Verenial. Jim Greengrass. Great name for a baseball player. This is a Harvey Kuhn rookie. Now, I like these cards. They obviously got more rounding on the corners and such for 50s cards. But I don't think I saw one with any major creases. So that was the good part about this. They were in fairly good mid-grade condition, maybe G to VG type condition. So probably 3s, 2.5, 3, 3.54 if you're thinking about it on the PSA scale. Jim Hegan, Indians. Ken Raffensperger, also Cincinnati Redlegs, or Reds as we know him. Johnny Sane, New York Yankees. This card here, probably the most expensive of the lot, but like I said, what I paid for it worked out to about $3 and change per card. So this one it turns out to be a pretty good deal on that. But good looking card, you know, obviously some rounding on the corners, but anytime I can get a hold of 50s cards, I'm good with that. And then Vern Law rounds out that group. And then smaller batch of these, Wally Westlake, Bill Tremmel. So Wally Westlake, Bill Tremmel, and again, pretty good condition. Didn't see any creases in the cards. I haven't taken all of them out, but I will as I look and compare to my sets. Wally Moon. So those were the deals I got from that particular guy. And then see if I can do this without. So this one I kind of went back and forth on, but I thought, you know, you don't see this enough. So these cards there was a dealer there who had a lot of cards, a lot of vintage cards, and he had these 50 Bowman. So I'm going to do this just to give you a better perspective of the 50 Bowman, if that works. So there were a total of 1650 Bowmans, worked out to about $7 a card, which again is retail. I thought long and hard about it. I was like, I don't want to pay retail, but then I said to myself, you know, what are you doing? You don't see these cards often enough, so you just pick them up, and they're pretty much all commons, but they're very, very clean. Not a lot, there's some corner wear on some of them and whatnot, but they look pretty good for 50 Bowman. And so I was glad to pick these up. There's something about getting those early Bowman that really is enticing. So let me see if I can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these out and I'm going to put them in some holders, and then we'll show them one by one. All right, guys, as promised, here are the 50 Bowman. I've sleeved them up, and then I'll put them in a holder. We're going to go one by one. So this one here, Lloyd Merriman. Oh, boy. Lloyd Merriman, Cincinnati Reds. Trying to find a focus that works. There he is. He comes in and out of focus. There we go. Lloyd Merriman. All right. Now, all of these passed the smell test, which is good. They smell like 1950s. Johnny Reistick. Clint Hartung. Danny Litweiler. I don't know what's up with the camera today and focusing. The autofocus must be taking a vacation. Here you go. Trying to get a good shot of these. Just can't seem to focus in. Just focusing in on my hands. Bob Chipman, Boston Braves. So all of these, Sheldon Jones. This is a big set. It's kind of a pipe dream to put together a set of this nature, but always love to pick up vintage that's this old. Sam Zoldak. Yeah. So as you can tell, I am having a little issue with my one of my fire Merino Pyretti Indians. Steve Gromek. So nobody of any major consequence here, but some, and if I don't know a guy and you know something about him, please tell me. Ali Clark. It's a little out of my range of knowledge for baseball. I mean, I know the basics of the 50s, but not as Eddie Sawyer. I feel like I've got to know that name a little bit. And I'll research these cards a little bit. That'll be fun. Mike Goliath. And you can see I couldn't pass them up at that price. Worked out, like I said, to about $7 a card. Sylvester Donnelly. Because they were just so They were in such good shape, and you don't see vintage of 50 Bowman in this great a shape. So this is my first foray into 50 Bowman. I have some 51 Bowman. Royce Smalley, Chicago Cubs. Feel like I've heard that name before. And lastly, Bill Serena. Looks like also Cubs, right? Yep. And he's not the last one, actually. This one is. This is the one card that had a little bit of a crease up in the corner. A little, not even a crease, just kind of like a bend. I don't know if you can see it. But nice looking card. Other than that, Ron Northey. So, like I said, I'll do some research on these cards. Jeez, the focus is just miserable. I don't know if it's because it's focusing on my hands or what. I'm sorry for the quality of the focus, but that was my little foray into 1950s Bowman. So basically, I'm going to tell you what I thought. So the 1950s Bowman, I just felt like I couldn't leave it behind. I even got to the car and I said, I'm going back. If he's still gutted, I'm gonna pull the trigger on it. You just don't see him that clean, that nice. Yeah, there was some corner damage on some of the cards, but 16 1950 Bowman with no real damage, creases, etc. I had to buy it, and I know I probably paid close to retail for most of those cards, but as a collector, I'm okay with that because you know what, it's gonna be, you don't get a chance to pick up those cards in that nice a shape very often. Well, that's it, guys. That was the trip. I'm just a couple of programming notes. I am still working on editing my first foray into editing. I'm editing my trip to the Dedham show in Massachusetts. I went there and I picked up some really nice stuff, some binders of 70, 71, 72 with some high numbers, which was great. And I picked up some batches of cards. Oddly enough, from the same dealer that I picked these up, the Bowman today from, was the dealer that had those 1958s. I picked up a bunch of 1958s from him. I want to say 64 1958s. And I got a great deal from him, $160 for the 1958s, 1965s, 1967s, 1968s, and some 1966s. So, it worked out to less than $1 a card, and the condition of the cards was great. So I'm gonna put that video together. If it's the last thing I do, because I want to learn how to edit and make this channel super flashy, if you will, I guess. But that's in the works. Other than that, thanks so much for watching. Again, if you enjoyed the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for your support. Have a great day.